I am still on 28.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is also, it's recording now. So I'm just going to record all meetings and just post them on YouTube. So welcome, folks.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I didn't remember to record the last one until about an hour in. So the conversation didn't make much sense, but, you know, it was interesting enough.
What can you do?
Yeah. All right. This is so weird. There's so much echo in here right now. Freaking me out. All right, you want to just start?
We're starting now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're waiting on anybody. So.
All right. Well, I don't really have any updates on our freshman project side of things. I think really they're probably just waiting for us to like either give them like officially here's what we're doing, or some workshop idea curriculum stuff, which I haven't been able to put much thought into yet, but I don't think it'll take very long to put together a few like short PowerPoint workshops.
Yeah, so sponsoring the teams and then also workshopping like 3 or 4 times.
Just doing like an advanced CAD one or something, yeah. Or like a MATLAB modeling, something that the ITL doesn't have.
Yeah. I could run a COMSOL one, but I don't know if that's of interest. I don't know if we have COMSOL on general CU computers.
Yeah, we don't have COMSOL. We have ANSYS. We could run an ANSYS. I could run an ANSYS structures one, and then see if I can get somebody to run a Arrow one if we wanted.
Yeah.
But I think more freshmen are going to be more interested in a structures one than an Arrow one, just because I don't think they're going to know the theory behind the Arrow one if they wanted to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Do you want to talk about, I think like freshman projects is just more of a logistics thing, and that once that's solved, it's kind of no biggie.
Yeah, agreed.
So do you want to talk about the like the high school competition kind of? So what are you thinking? I'm still kind of on the submit a video side of things and kind of as hands off as possible.
Yep, I like that too. The only thing I was thinking is like if we want to see them dig somewhere like a reasonable amount, like they're gonna need a metric crap ton. Oh, can we swear in these videos, in these meetings?
So we have to
try not to.
Not the big ones.
Got it. So I think they're gonna need a lot of Play-Doh. Like if we were gonna do a Play-Doh one, I just imagine like a whole, like this is probably too big.
Yeah.
But like even a half size of this, I guess, is what I sort of had in mind for scale on digging, because otherwise you're not really digging anywhere. You can just like poke. But like that's a lot of material, and so it's like, whoa, we'll just have them use dirt. But like you can't just go out and get some dirt because it's not going to be solid around the edges. Although I guess real life dirt wouldn't be solid around the edges. Maybe, I don't know. We want to keep it simple, so we don't want to have them like build the tunnel behind the hole that they're digging. It should just be the hole.
Yeah. What about we could drive to them? We could have our own dirt boxes that we bring. Those would be so heavy. God. And that we've got like a slide up door on one side or something that they can start digging through. I'm thinking like plywood on 3 sides,
right?
Doors on the other.
Well, I think I would do plywood on 2 sides with sliding doors on opposite ends, so that they dig all the way through.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. The 3rd side was the bottom.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I think that would be that would be cool. I think that's pretty low cost still for us. I don't really see a problem with that. I guess just it could be a logistical challenge driving places for people. I don't know if maybe we could offer like maybe do like 2 or 3 weekends where it's like, okay, this weekend let's all meet at this. If you want to do it, sign up here. We'll give you a time slot, and you'll have a X amount of time, and the next team will come an hour later or whatever the next time slot, and we'll be at the CU campus. And then next weekend we'll do the exact same thing, but we'll be at
Fort Collins or Springs.
other places that are near the schools that we're trying to do it at.
Yeah. Cool. Then how does this competition happen in terms of I guess like technologically speaking? So like if we wanted to actually build a tunnel, that's going to be like a non-zero cost.
Right.
So like, would we want to target science teachers or maybe like FRC programs? I don't know if FIRST is coming back this year.
Right. I have contacts at First Nevada that can get me in contact with teams in Colorado pretty easily. I think. So if we wanted to look at FIRST teams, we could do that. And maybe that's worth just doing because it's easy for me to send an email to say, hey, can you give me a list of teams in Colorado that competed last year? But otherwise, yeah, I feel like it's just emailing. Like, I don't know where we would find the emails of science teachers. I think it'd be easier to find emails of like principals and try and get them to tell their science teachers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think our best bet is FIRST teams first semester because they don't have a season that's going on. I figure, I mean, like FRC is probably going to figure out a way to compete still in January. So that's one way we could kind of square it. And that's also nice because as things ramp up on our competition side of things, there can be a lull in the outreach portion, which I think kind of makes sense.
Okay.
So then targeting, for this year at least, just a first semester competition, unless things go extraordinarily well, and then we can talk about stretching it second semester too, or
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Let's trial it just in the fall.
Yeah. Okay. Also, FRC teams are, at least their team number and name is like essentially open.
Right.
So it would be good if we can just get a total list though of emails and stuff.
Right. So the people I know in Nevada are like the first coordinators for Nevada. And they were our team mentors when I was on the team. So I know they were talking about trying to get me to do some FIRST stuff here, which I kind of shied away from, but said that it could be a possibility. And I said I didn't really know. Colorado didn't seem to have much of a FIRST network really. And she said that she had talked to somebody that was familiar with the region and the teams there, and that she might try and get her to, I don't know, kick some things along. She wanted us to do and by us, I actually mean us because I said that I knew some people that would maybe be interested in also doing this, and you came to mind. So sorry, Dan, I volunteered you for something. But she was saying they're trying to do like this college FIRST thing where for FTC, the night that the game comes out, college teams of alumni would compete for 36 hours or whatever to try and build something to do it. And so there was some list of that. And so something exists as far as like knowing who's active here. So
yeah, that'd be so much fun.
And the problem was that like, they were like, oh, you don't have a kit of parts out with you. I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, well, maybe I can talk to the First Colorado people and they could just send you a kit of parts if you wanted to do it. And I'd be like, yeah, okay.
I would so be down if that happened, but
I figured, yeah.
Okay, so FRC teams and then just generally area high schools.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. You're gonna handle trying to grab a list of FRC teams.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. And then I'm gonna wait. I'll try drafting an email.
Okay.
Drafting
the email for
contact
the list if we have it, once we have it. Okay, gotcha. Perfect.
And I think once again, rather than trying to contact the FRC team, we just make sure that we contact the high school that has those FRC teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Box of dirt.
Yeah, we're similar.
Yeah, we've got a who. We just need to have a how and what.
Right.
So we've got a box of dirt. So what should be the goal is to dig through it as fast as possible, right?
I guess in the interest of simplicity, that would be the goal. I feel like maybe if we wanted, I don't know. I guess the fact that the boring companies has like 3 criteria of like judging or whatever, or 3 award categories, kind of really opens up the design space pretty well. And I wonder if there's not some way that we could open up the design space for ours. Maybe you can either do it as fast as possible, or like maybe we have a time component and a like cross-sectional area component or something.
What about this? What if I agree that we have cross-sectional area as a factor. I have no clean paper. So this is a top view of the box. So entering from the bottom.
Okay.
And then there are a couple of things we have slots in each of the walls now, and you can either exit here, here, or here, and that it's however it's the fastest to get out of the box. So in order to exit here, you got to turn though. So that could be a way to make it more interesting. I'm not really sure if you can even turn in that radius.
Right.
But we could, angle things a little bit better, and actually we could have it, exit here or exit here.
Right. I see what you're saying. But you still have to enter normal to the edge.
Enter normal, and then you can select a target to exit, or you can just try to dig through as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think if you had, like, we have to make, the issue with doing multiple criteria is that you have to balance it somehow so that everybody doesn't just try and do one. But yeah, I like those 3 options. I think those are good. And I think going forward, all we would want to or have to do would be figure out how we wanted to score each like, criteria set.
Yeah.
If we wanted to do like, you get 10 points for every inch off center and 10 points for every minute under 30 minutes and 10 points for every additional square inch or something. And probably should convert everything to metric, but essentially, I don't know how we would want to try and balance that, or if we even care about balancing it. Like, it's not like we have a huge prize pool.
Yeah, I would be worried about overcomplicating.
Right. Yeah.
like, I think there's virtue in just saying this for this first trial run, just whoever gets out of the box fastest in a straight line. I figure the teams would still have their hands full.
Right.
So I also am curious, like, what kind of things would we need to give these teams access to? Because, like, money will be, I mean, money is the coin of the realm because it's a coin. So if a high school has access to, like, any sort of machining, like, then the game's kind of up.
What do you mean, like in terms of being too expensive or not
Yeah,
expensive
like,
enough?
the more funding a high school has, the better they will do.
Right.
To a point, you know.
That might just be how it is the first year
Yeah.
or the first time.
Yeah. I think so. I still haven't made a pitch for general funding, but we're still trying to figure out how expensive we want our digger to be.
Sure.
But I think instead of trying to apply for specific things this year, we're just going to try to get a pot of money. And then perhaps if we allocate things correctly, we can take whatever is in excess and just give it as scholarships.
Sure.
But still, like, the thing with a boring machine is that, you know, maybe we put the criteria that, like, everything needs to be 3D printed or something like that. Like, I don't even know, to where we could, like, buy materials and just print parts for people.
Right.
The entry cost is even higher than something like Vex Robotics, where you need a kit, and then once you have the kit, everybody's basically on the same page. Like, for this, you need, like, a custom piece that'll do the cutting.
Right. But I mean, like, you could use if you use like a big drill bit or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, I think there's cheap options. It's just really whether teams are interested in going that route and trying that, or if they are a team with more resources that wants to try something fancy. But
Yeah.
like, I don't think anybody's going to be machining a cutting bit. At least anything real fancy, and any sort of real fancy cutting bit.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the geometry is just too much for high school as far as what they have access to.
So FRC's got the $4,000 robot cost limit. Should we have a similar limit, do you think? Like,
I think a limit would be cool. Maybe put, like, I don't know, $500 or $1,000.
Yeah, I think
Let people play around
with those numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be nice to devote somebody to just kind of designing something right now, but I don't think I've got enough people to do that.
You mean designing? What do you mean designing?
Just essentially doing, like, the 36-hour competition, except
sure.
with, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that are around, or even if they're not around, that would be interested in doing that.
Yeah, right now I'm considering,
I think it's still like valuable to try digging dirt with something,
yeah,
even if it's a tiny.
Yeah, I'm trying to weigh the pro cons for the idea of, like, if you put out a trailer with, like, a mini college built device, like, whether you don't really want to show anybody how you did it, but you might want to be able to show people that you did do it for $500.
Right.
I think that's actually a good idea. I think that's a positive for everybody involved, because we'll both learn something about how do you dig in dirt, and we'll be able to price it out better.
Yeah, and ideally, like, you could get, I mean, I don't know how big your team is right now. as on the competition side, but like ideally you could get people working either in pairs or even just individually and get 4 different ideas on how to dig dirt, sort of just rolling to start with.
Yeah, I don't know if we currently have $3,000 in the bank. Is that right?
Something like that, as long as it's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't have gotten taken away, but I don't know what they did with all the COVID shit. You would think they would let someone know if it disappeared.
Yeah. Is that, do we have just total discretion about how we spend that money, or is that?
As long as it's used for operations,
Okay.
as far as, yeah, like the only real restriction, I mean, among others, but the only restriction that we could possibly really run into is we can't use it to buy food.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, we can use that for whatever we want.
Okay. All right. So then let's say,
but once the semester starts up too, like you could, actually maybe even now.
I think it should happen now because we want to give high schools the full time.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm saying is like, there's a possibility, particularly in once the semester starts, that like you could get $1,000 for operations within a week, maybe 2. And that's from the like CSI regular funding board stuff. The question is, in the past they have operated during the summer, so there'd be a chance that you could get it now, but I don't know if they're doing it because of COVID stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we just tap into the $3,000, and I think that's the way it rides.
Sure.
Yeah, I think spending $1,000 on a single design, maybe multiple designs is a good idea, so you learn more. Actually, what I think you do is if there's several really good ideas that are different enough to be worth trying, then you do those different things.
Right.
But what about, do you agree that we don't show high schoolers what the designs are?
To a point. I think that, I mean, yeah, I understand the concern with doing it. I think maybe we don't show the designs themselves that we come up with. We post the scores that we got or whatever time we managed to do it in and the budget for it, if we wanted to. And then I can try and whip out some of the like CGI.
Yeah, like the kind of the FRC CGI.
Yeah, sort of style where they got like eyes and they just giggle about. I don't know if I want it quite like that, but you know, I can do some CGI stuff where it will.
How far are we into the recording?
How far do we have?
It's 5:26. I'm just writing down what the time is because I'm gonna have to beep you.
Oh, did I just? Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, they got the eyes. Yeah.
How embarrassing for Cole.
How embarrassing. Now I think I'm just gonna leave. So yeah, and you know, we don't have to show anything terribly fancy, but we can show something digging, and that would be pretty simple. And we can show a few different things digging about different ways that you can do it without really showing off too much. So yeah, I think that would be fine.
Cool. What's your thought on dirt dimensions? Dirt is 1,600 kilograms per meter cubed.
Shoot.
527, folks.
No, I kind of saved myself. This is like a half. This one will just be demonetized. That's just how it is. Darn. Well, because I do like half of a crate width, basically. I don't know where I think my measuring tape is in my room or in my car, but this is 3 feet. So if you went 1.5 feet by, you do like 1 foot thick would maybe be fine. 30
The
centimeters.
depth.
I guess like you have to dig for 1 foot is what I'm thinking.
Okay, I see.
And then you could do 1 foot tall also. And that would sort of constrain how giant your bot could be. But then I think wider would maybe be cool. Or if you went like 18 inches in the other 2 dimensions, that would maybe be good.
Yeah. What do you think? So what's like maximum boring diameter?
Like 6 inches.
6 inches, yeah.
I think that seems reasonable.
I think you need to have more depth than a foot in order for, yeah. So let's say you can have, it's an 18-inch tall box. Man, I think you have to go longer than a foot, or at least, yeah, because like,
Yeah.
just like I can imagine that the robot is something like that big, like somewhere between like 8 inches and a foot long.
Right.
So you don't want to have your robot sticking out when it pokes through. So like, what about 18 inches long also?
That would work.
And then a foot wide.
Say that
And then
again. Cut.
Foot wide.
Okay.
But then I think that kind of limits our options to just being more straightforward as fast as you can.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. Maybe that's fine.
Yeah.
Or maybe you add the tunnel diameter as well as another option to trade against, but yeah.
Yeah, I think like minimum tunnel diameter of like 2 inches or something. Like you don't want somebody sticking a drill bit through.
All right, like a straw.
Yeah. Minimum of 3 inches. And okay, how do you prevent somebody from making just a gigantic drill?
Shoot, 1 sec. I lost my audio.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear feedback from that?
I cannot.
Okay, we'll call that good.
All right. Okay. How do you prevent somebody from just building a drill?
I don't think you can. I think you'd let someone build a drill. But they still have to power the drill and control the drill.
Yeah, but you don't want somebody to just like, like.
Well, I think you make it so that they can't, once you put your bot there, like you can have a stand that it sits on as it goes in, but you can't interact with it once you hit go.
Yeah, but it can be cabled. Like you can run
Sure.
a cable out the back end.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
Cable.
But I think I was going to say no like teleoperation, but maybe there's no reason to limit that. It's only 18 inches.
Yeah, I think, tele's fine, but you can't be supporting, it's got to move under its own strength.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to need to be some sort of staging area where it like crawls forward, or maybe you're able to prime it, where it like digs in the first inch or something and then let it run.
I think we provide a like platform at the start of the dirt, which we can change the height of, and that's where you get to set it. And then it has to, yeah, you do either your priming thing or it has to slide across that or whatever.
Yeah. Because what I'm seeing initially is that like you have to apply a pretty good amount of force in order to start boring. So are they allowed to like push on the back in order to get like the initial grip?
Yeah, I
into
think
the dirt?
maybe one is something easy for us would just be to say, take wherever the start of your robot is, and then you have to have a red mark at 2 inches from that, and you get to push it into the dirt until you hit that red mark. But once it's past the whatever mark we specify, then that's hands off.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So boring wise, so the diameter, it can be 3 to 6 inches. Does that sound like a?
Yeah, I think that's good.
And then what about length?
What are we calling 18 inches right now? Maybe just half. So no more than 9.
No more than 9 inches. Okay. 9-inch length. But
So it has to be like 2 inches thick or something. 2 to 9, somewhere in there.
Okay.
I don't want to say 9 and then everybody's like, oh, it better be 9 inches.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good to give an upper and lower.
Yeah. And then it's all a cable's allowed.
Yeah, I think that's fine. You can connect it to your laptop or whatever.
Yeah. Cool. All right. What
And then I
else?
think we could actually maybe help open up the design space separately without adding complexity by just kind of doing, again, what SpaceX did with Hyperloop, which is at least in the first year, which was, you have to go as fast as possible, but then we could also just give out, those innovation awards where at our discretion, like if you did something cool, you get some recognition for that. So, if somebody does it without having a wire and has all of the power and control, what little control I think there probably would be on board, then, that would be more than likely different than everyone else. And, we could say like, hey, that's pretty cool. Good job.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so innovation awards and then also fastest tunneler.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just to keep it as simple as possible, especially with the size constraints that we have laid out.
Yeah.
Probably just dig it fast.
Yeah, and I think for the time being, $1,000 sounds right.
Okay.
Based on size, like if you're spending more than $1,000, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean that's a dense $1,000.
Yeah. Cool. So, all right. What else? I'm just trying to think of the things that are kind of just like the simplest. I think we basically got it. Should we be able to shine a flashlight down the tunnel? Like, how do we consider a tunnel complete?
Yeah, the flashlight would be cool. I guess I'm just afraid of cave-ins that would ruin it for people. And really, like, in real life, you'd be digging a tunnel behind it, supporting it behind it.
Yeah, so
maybe
this
not.
is, I think that's the story. Fastest tunneler, and then also first to be able to shine a flashlight down it. So that's kind of parallel to the boring competition because you don't necessarily need to clear the dirt out.
Yep.
You can just move it through it.
Yep.
So let's do the same thing.
Yeah, I like it.
And that adds a little bit more diversity to it without making it overly complex.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, like you don't have to. Like it doesn't have to be a tunnel at the end. If you get through it, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
And in that regard, what if it's more like, so we've given these size constraints. What if it's, yeah, I think it's just like you get a cube that fits somewhere between this size and this size through this patch of dirt.
Yep.
And that's the base level.
Yeah. The next one up is, yeah, getting it through the patch of dirt and we can see the other end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's definitely like baseline interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm moving this week, like I think I said. So I'm not sure when I'm going to have time to write this up explicitly. Maybe tonight, actually. So I think if you get the email list for the FRC teams, and then we just start to kind of crash on writing up like a specific rule set.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
Maybe we ping the boring company and say, hey, we're doing this. If that's cool with you. Also, any updates? Kind of gives us an excuse to bug them for updates on the competition one.
Yeah, you didn't hear anything from them after sending the thing, did you?
No, nothing since.
Yeah, I didn't get any sort of confirmation email. So.
Yeah, I guess I heard back, or when I was talking with about it before, when she sent out the initial email.
I'm gonna probably bleep her. I'm gonna probably bleep their name out.
Okay.
You know what? Screw it. The person he's talking about is a woman and narrows down your field to half of the population. So
there you go. Currently looking at doing this. I said, oh no, I guess I didn't have anything. I just had asked if we can have multiple people on the email, and she said no. So I started another team. And that kind of got around that problem. Yeah, that was it.
So clever. Yeah, I think pinging her is probably in order. Do you want to send that, or do you want me to?
You can send it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then my marching orders are email the person that is to remain unnamed. And then developing kind of a rules list. Actually, first thing I'm going to do is developing the rules so that we have some sort of kind of general structure to like attach. We can just attach that to the email. And then, yeah, cool.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then once we have a better idea on rules, I need to finish the video for immersion for Hyperloop proper.
Right.
And I have to do quadcopters or arcs, but afterwards, I really do think it would be fun to make a promo video for the high school competition. So I'll try and work on that.
Yeah. So is Jack on your team?
Yeah, sort of. He said he's really busy, so he doesn't really know how much he'll be able to do, but that was my plan.
Yeah, so I guess he's all done with
school.
LASP.
Yeah, he's at LASP still. So he's at LASP until February, and then he goes to JPL.
Okay. Is he just staying there until it reaches Mars, or?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So he's still really busy. But is that your whole team? Is it just you and him, or are there other people that'd be interested in doing the kind of like $1,000 prototype?
As far as $1,000 prototype right now, probably just the two of us. And honestly, I'll probably rope Jack in on it, but let's just say it's just me for right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just because I don't know. I'd have to see what he's up to. I know he's moving here soon also, but that wouldn't really get too much in the way because we would have a little bit more time than that. But Yeah.
moving here. Is he not in Boulder right now, or?
No, he is. Sorry, I mean like he's moving here, being in the near future.
Ah, gotcha. Yes. Yeah, I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have said they're interested right now. Yeah. Okay, and Esther and Jet are not. Okay. Yeah, so like definitely a limited pool of who's able to help or interested in helping over the summer. But I think 5 people doing something like this would be able to come up with a couple of cool designs. So
Yeah, no,
sweet.
I think so too. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah. So then I'm gonna work tonight on getting some kind of general guidelines, and then I'll broach the subject on Slack tomorrow or something.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sweet. Okay, well then I'm gonna turn off the video.
Yep.
Bye, folks.
See ya.
Nobody watched. Nobody watched.